Hi everyone. I hope y'all are doing well and moving right along in your work for this week in session 4. I'm talking to you all tonight from my candlelit dining room. Candlelit because I've been out of town for a few days, and when I returned just an hour ago, I discovered that my power had been cut off by Louisville Gas and Electric. So that's quite nice. It'll be restored possibly while we're talking, so don't be creeped out. Also, if any ghosts appear over my shoulder, just part of the writing game. So at the end of this week, we'll already be a quarter of the way through classes. I just wanted to say that as a way of saying yay. You all have made it a quarter of the way through if you're still making it through and trying the workout. So I'm making this video for you guys. Adjust this a little bit. I'm making this video for you guys this week, partly to check in and to remind you that I'm here. I still exist. I'm still here for you, to help you, to answer questions as you all need me, as your questions arise. And I also want to talk to you guys a little bit about your final projects, or your final drafts, rather, for writing project number 1. So those are due this week. I've been noticing some common errors in those rough drafts, and I just wanted to say a few words about those to all of you, with the hope that you all will look for these errors in your own drafts, whether you think you've made the errors or not, and work really hard to revise these things. First off, a lot of you guys aren't really following MLA guidelines for your papers. That's MLA in capital letters. It's a type of formatting that you have to do for your papers. And formatting is just a way of saying how the paper looks on the page. That is standardized in different ways. MLA is just one of those ways that you have to follow for this class. So some of those formatting issues include double spacing. Some of you guys are single spacing and not double spacing. Some of you are not putting your last name and page number at the top right of each page. Some of you guys are even neglecting to do a works cited page, a list of sources that you use in your paper, which is a really big deal. You cannot forget to do that. Being really careful with formatting, it feels nitpicky, but it's not just about being nitpicky. It's about your seriousness. It shows your seriousness and your attention to detail. You have to be careful with formatting. Remember that you do have materials in this course which show you what MLA citation looks like and how to do it. And if you haven't looked carefully at those and followed them, you must do that for the final draft. If you're confused about MLA formatting, try looking up the phrase MLA on YouTube. You should find some really helpful instructional videos there. Okay, second thing I'm noticing in your papers is the complete imbalance between summary and response. Many, if not most of you, have way more summary than response, when it's way better to have it the other way around, more response than summary. The response should take up at least half of the paper, if not more, mostly because summary just lets readers know what your reading was about, and you don't need a lot of space to do that. Whereas, what readers really, really want to know, what they need to know at the college level, is what you thought about the reading. This is going to be true for pretty much all papers you do at the college level. Summary should be shorter, and response or analysis should dominate the paper. Okay. One of the last things I'll mention is that the content, meaning what exactly you're putting into your paper, what you're putting into your summaries and responses, is actually not quite hitting the mark for what a summary should do, what a response should do. So generally speaking, I will say this for summaries. You don't want to add any little details about the readings or the video you're discussing. You only want to touch on the major points discussed or the major things that happen in a story, in an essay, in a video. You also don't just want to talk about the author himself or herself. It's kind of distracting. And you don't want to write so generally that you could be talking about like any part of the essay or story or video. So my advice would be to limit your summary to 2 paragraphs, hitting only the major things that the author discusses. And then for your responses, do as much as you did with a summary, even better, do more. of the paper as part of your response. So as for the responses themselves, a lot of you guys, and this is very important, maybe the most important thing I'm saying in this video, for the responses, a lot of you guys are actually not responding to anything specific in your story, essay, video, but you're responding to some idea that the video, essay, or story sparks. Like, oh, this makes me think of this, and now I'm going to talk about that. That is not something that you really want to do. Responding to readings and videos is all about the readings and the videos themselves, not actually about your personal experience or your general thoughts. Even if the video or the story or the essay makes you think of something in your own life is not actually what you want to be talking about. You want to be talking about the reading, what happens in the reading, the video, what happens in the video. You notice I'm hammering this in. It's super important. For example, a student's unsuccessful, not good, not high points response to an article about how people are too absorbed by the internet, right? Let's say a student writes a summary response on that article. The student might get caught up in talking about their personal experience with the internet instead of talking about the article itself. That should not happen. What should happen is a specific response to things, ideas, quotes, examples given in the reading. Talk directly about those specific things. To do this, to help with this, think about choosing specific parts from the reading or from the video that you had a reaction to. They made you experience an emotion. Name those parts in your paper and write about them. Write about what you thought of them. Use quotes from the reading. When you use quotes, make sure you used in-text citations. They look like this, parentheses, author's last name, and then a page number. So it would be like parenthesis, like give the quote, parenthesis, Alexi as the last name, for parenthesis, period. You do that with every quote or every time you make a specific reference to a source. So that's all of that. Most important thing probably is knowing what should go into the summary, what should go into the response. And then lastly, please take note, the assignment for Writing Project 1 mentions that you actually, for the final draft, you want a cover letter. And the assignment itself is going to tell you a little bit more about that. So make sure that you have that, since that is part of your grade. Okay. I hope this video or its transcript, if you're reading below instead of watching, has helped you all out in some way, giving you things to think about and work on for your final draft of Writing Project 1. Please get in touch with me if you all need anything. I won't know if you don't tell me, so definitely tell me if you need anything. Otherwise, have a wonderful week. Very happy writing to you guys, and I'll be looking for your work.